Hi, LCH kindergartners. So this week is our last week of narrative writing before we move on to writing lists next week. And then the week after that, we will start on some informational writing, which is super fun. But this week, we are going to write one more true story. You get to choose what you want to write about. And I'm going to teach you something more you can do in your writing this week and remind you how to begin your narrative. So remember, when we're picking our narrative, we want to think if we have a story and it's a whole big story, what's the one little piece, one slice of pie of that story that you want to write about? Okay, so you pick your one little slice of pie, and that's called your focus. And that's how you focus in and make your story about one thing. Then you think about your important details. Who, what are they doing in the story? Who's in your story with you? And that's where your pictures really help, because your pictures can label the people that are in it, mom, me, bear, right? And it can have details as to where you are. If you're at the park, then you're going to have trees and grass. If you're in your backyard, it will look like your backyard. If you're in your kitchen, it'll look like your kitchen, okay? And then don't forget this week to also continue adding in feelings to your story, right? How did you feel in the story? How did the people in your story feel? And that will really help lead into what we're learning this week, our speech bubbles and thought bubbles, right? In our thoughts, sometimes we say how we're feeling. And sometimes in our speech too, we say how we're feeling. So your speech bubbles can kind of have feelings in it also, or it can be completely different, okay? So this week we are going to work on speech bubbles, which are things that you actually say, and thought bubbles, things that you are thinking during the story. So I wanted to first show you how I could add in a thought bubble from my last week's writing. So my last week's writing was about Paxton doing an Easter egg hunt. And in Paxton's Easter egg hunt, it said, his first page, "We celebrated Easter at home. Paxton was excited for an Easter egg hunt." And if I could know what Paxton was thinking, he's only one, so I don't know what he's thinking. But if I could know, I would think that he was saying, "Wow, this is fun." So I did a little thought bubble on Paxton saying, "Wow, this is fun." Notice I labeled my person so we know it's Paxton. We don't want to get confused about who it is. And remember, I labeled my picture, and we really want to work on coloring our pictures to look realistic. Can you say realistic? Yeah, realistic. It means that your picture looks real. It looks like wherever you were in your actual true story, it looks real. So this week I wrote a story about getting a produce box delivered. Super exciting. A produce box is a box of fruits and veggies straight from a farm. And they come and they delivered it to my house in a big box. And it was really exciting. So that's what my story is about. So my first page says, "Last week I got a produce box. I was so excited to see what was inside." And so here's my picture, farm box being delivered to my door. And I highlighted excited because I wanted you to show that I still added my feelings. Even though that's not what we're working on this week, we can still work on the things that we already learned. So I wanted to show that I still put my feelings into this page. My next page says, "I opened it up and saw so many fruits and vegetables." Then my third page says, "Paxton was eager to eat the strawberries and oranges." Okay, eager, that is his feelings in that one. And my last page said, "So I cut up the strawberries and oranges, and Paxton impatiently waited to gobble them up." So I want to show you on my second page how I can add a speech bubble to it. So I actually have a speech bubble there. I'm going to cover it up because when I first recorded this, it didn't actually record. So then I had to redo it. So here is my picture that shows me opening up the produce box. So there's me, and I labeled me. And I labeled some of the fruits and vegetables that were in it, oranges and strawberries, okay? And then here I put a thought bubble, something I was thinking while I was opening up the box. I was thinking, wow, what will I do with all of this? There was so many fruits and veggies. Some of it I don't usually cook with. Like there was, I really like them, but I don't usually buy an acorn squash. And I was like, what could I possibly cook with this? Okay, so I wrote my speech bubble and I said, wow, what will I do with all of this? And then I drew my circle around it with the little circles connecting it to me. Okay, so write your words first and then circle around your words. That way you leave enough room for you to write your words. So here's my speech bubble on this page. Can you see it? Wow, what will I do with all of this? So that's my thought when I'm opening up the box. Page 3. Paxton was eager to eat the strawberries and oranges. And in the picture, I have Paxton in the kitchen. I'm going to cover up my speech bubble that I already did. And I have all the fruit out on the counter because I washed it all, watermelon, carrots, strawberries. I labeled Paxton above his little head, and I gave him a speech bubble. He was saying, please, please, please. So Paxton said, please, please, please. So in his speech bubble, I wrote, please, please, please. And then I circled around it and had his little speech bubble there. Okay. So it's really just showing the thoughts and feelings of the people in your story. Okay. So as you're, not every page is going to have a speech bubble. On my first page, I could label some more things on my first page probably, but there's no people on it. So there's no speech bubbles on it. Okay. I could label door, window, produce box. I could label those things to practice some more writing. But not every page has a speech bubble, but get 1 or 2 on in your book to practice putting those thoughts out there. Okay. So as you're working this week, make sure you remember, pick your focus, plan out your pages as you go. This is what's going to be on page 1, page 2, and then add your details and feelings and speech bubbles to make it a super awesome narrative for everyone to read. All right, we can't all wait to read all of your narratives at the end of the week. So keep up the good work and have fun. We miss you. Bye.